Okay, Assalamualaikum dan selamat malam semua. Welcome to episode 2 FPL Jedi Show. We are recording this show pukul 11.20 malam hari Rabu. And with me, my old friend Azmin. How are you?
Hi Hafiz, how are you? I'm good. I'm alright. Had a nice fun start to the season. Very explosive start. Not necessarily for my teams, but for the Premier League as a whole. So it's great.
Okay, good to hear that. Hopefully you enjoyed last week punya matches because kita banyak match yang penuh dengan goal, okay? And good to hear kalau you achieve your target lah if you put that way. So for tonight's show, okay, for tonight's show, let's through what's our agenda. Okay, what kita akan buat pada hari ini ialah kita akan go through game week 1 review, okay, which is our own team lah, berapa banyak poin yang kita berjaya dapat pada game week 1. We gonna do match analysis, okay. So the match analysis all the 10 fixture, we are not going to go through in details lah, tapi mungkin kita akan break up around 2 matches lah to look at and give our thoughts. New players emerging, okay, number 3, kita boleh tengok player-player yang perform pada game week 1 dan mungkin kita boleh tengok few potential player that we should hook on moving forward. Number 4, we are going to go through game week 2 fixture, okay, which fixture yang we should be targeting. Number 5, captain pick, who should pick for game week 2, okay, and our transfer plan untuk game week 2. I think that's the agenda for tonight, Min.
Yep.
So before we start the show, just want to give credit to fantasypremierleague.com and also fantasyfootballscout.co.uk is because dua ni lah kita punya source ataupun whatever information dalam ni kita akan share. We are pulling all information from here, so credit to them. So if let's say you guys tertanya which sources that we are looking at, so inilah 2 places that we always refer. I think these sites are good untuk kita tengok lah, okay, sebab some of the information dalam ni very precise and banyak membantu kita lah guiding on how we should approach FPL in a competitive way, okay. Alright. Next, okay, so kita nak go through team Sleepy Jedi dulu. Okay, performance game week 1. Okay, your final score is 87. I consider kalau kata fikir game week yang biasa, 80 plus, 70 plus dah kira bagus tau.
Yeah.
So I think 87 is A, pada aku A, okay, and average points yang scored by any other managers is around 69. So you are above average and you should be happy. Right, so maybe kau boleh run through sebab ingat last week macam kau ada pilih Cresswell, Gundogan, tapi tengok team dah lain lah ni.
Okay. Alright. Firstly, obviously, I think one thing that didn't change is the fact that I chose not to have Bruno Fernandes. So obviously that seems to have turned out to be a mistake because the replacement, if I didn't have if I wanted Fernandes, it would have been in the place of Mane. And we saw in the Liverpool game, which we'll look a bit more detail later, is that Mane had his chances, but was involved in the attack, but ultimately nothing happened in terms of fantasy points. So if you remember my last team previously in the previous show, originally I had Cresswell, Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yep.
And I was using a 3-5-2 formation. I had Gundogan as well. So with a 3-5-2 formation, and I didn't have Sarr and Calvert-Lewin, and Dunk was on the bench.
Yep.
So what happened was, and this happened on the deadline day itself, and the first news that I found out was the fact that Lacazette and Aubameyang of Arsenal were not going to play.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, I put Emil Smith-Rowe because I was quite confident, especially against Brentford, that Arsenal would be yeah, Arsenal would be able to score goals. I'm not sure what the final result would be, but I was confident that Arsenal will score goals. But when you lose your two key attacking players, what does that mean? You know, are Arsenal going to score? So I just felt that that's not, there's no point in me keeping ESR. Who is he going to feed to? Who is he going to get? Who is he going to assist? So I took a serious look at it and decided, okay, I'm going to dump it. And originally I was just going to put Dallas, who was also, if I remember correctly, he's also at 5.5. So and just leave it at that because I think there are teams that had Rafinha in, for example, and I can't afford him because it's more expensive, but I could afford Dallas, who we know in last season he has scored goals for Leeds. Okay, so originally that was that, and then later on, as team news came out, I found out that DCL was fit.
Okay.
So, and DCL was originally of my first draft, and in fact, I'm sure it was in plenty of everyone's first drafts as well. When you first created your teams, because Rafa Benitez has actually gone out and stated that they tried to create a team molding around DCL, feeding crosses into a box, and we saw this in the preseason friendlies that DCL is going to be the focal point.
Yeah, to be fair, I had him in my first team draft juga.
Yeah. So obviously that we had these pictures of showing him in trainers when everyone else is in boots. So it was starting to show that he wasn't gonna play. But then suddenly he decided. Suddenly we found out he's ready to play, and I felt that I just had to get him. And how was I going to be able to do that? Because I was playing a 3-5-2 originally, and the person the third striker was Obafemi, who's 4.5 units. So where was I going to get those additional 3.5 units from? Yeah. So I had to do a reshuffle, and in the process, I lost Gundogan, I lost Cresswell, which meant that I moved Dunk from the bench to the starting lineup.
Okay.
And as a result, I was able to afford Calvert-Lewin, and in the midfield place, I picked up Sarr,
which is a nice pick.
Yeah, so I in my first draft, when I first created my team, originally I actually had Sarr in because I felt that there's a lot of good thing, and he was in the Premiership, he was in the Premier League 2 seasons ago, but at the time Watford was were getting relegated, but he showed that he was one of the outstanding players.
We will never forget the goals scored by Sarr against Liverpool at home where he scored monster 2 goals or 3 goals. I can't recall. Tapi that's the match lah. We will
blocked it from my memory, so
we will definitely remember him for that.
Yeah. So in the end, so it was good that Sarr and Calvert-Lewin both scored goals, and I think Sarr could actually potentially, we'll see later that Watford actually has a good run of back fixtures moving forward. Unfortunately, in terms of the defense, only TAA returned, and I'm sure those who had Tsimikas as their third Liverpool player all got their clean sheet points, which is great. Okay. Greenwood also returned, so I'm happy, and I expect Greenwood to continue.
Playing up front some more, and he played 90 minutes. Dia tak sub out.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah, which was not necessarily the case in previous seasons.
When I thought Sancho coming in is for Greenwood, but it's not the case.
And one thing about the Manchester United, again, because we saw Martial start on the bench as well. So anyway, moving on. So even my bench has also modified a bit to make everything work. But sadly, you can see that I've got Ayling and Amate, who both have scored 6 pointers, but they are both on the bench. One clean sheet and 1 goal. Ayling scored a goal.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Sometimes your bench doesn't work. Your choice of bench doesn't work out for you.
Don't think so much on them. They only filler into your team. So at least you scored 87. Are you happy with that?
Yes. I mean, I guess it could have been better. Yeah,
okay.
But because
everyone will say. Everyone will say that if let's say we see some others score 100 plus over, so but it's still early days to me.
Yeah. Although one thing with this season is that it doesn't normally happen at the start of season. You see so many players actually scoring 100 and above, because and I don't know if it's partly because previously there was no audience, and this year we finally back, so there's a lot of spirit, a lot of semangat. of the players to perform in front of a crowd again. So that may have also contributed. So yeah.
Okay, good.
But yeah, and I just want to point out Antonio, he's the top
Okay.
scorer for the
Despite missing a
forwards.
penalty. Despite
Despite
penalty.
missing.
And he still got 3 bonus points.
So that's my team.
Okay,
Captain Salah,
good.
which is
I just quickly ran through my team. I scored a little bit higher than you. That's it. 3 points. In 91 points. Okay. I have like others. Salah captain, Fernandez. I have TAA. Okay. Antonio I have. I also have Ings who replaced DCL, which I'm not sure whether he plays or not. Okay. But to be fair, actually he a bit lucky to get that goal lah. Last minute.
I was so annoyed when I saw Ing score.
Last minute, I tengok Turaro kena tackle dalam penalty box. I pray, okay, Ings, please take that penalty. Please don't miss. So then he did score and he got 1 bonus point some more. So I'm a happy man for that. And overall, the rest mediocre. Short, didn't perform so much, although he's attacking. Okay. 1 yellow card. Digney didn't keep clean sheet against Southampton. Disappointing. Barnes didn't score, but Leicester did win. Okay. Rafinha, as you know, he missed a glorious chance at the end of the match. He shoot into the air. So that a bit disappointed. But I won't complain. I should be okay with 91 points, to be fair.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
So let's move on. Okay. People don't want to hear our sad story so much. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we go through these Gameweek results. Okay. Just quickly run. I don't know whether this is a surprise or not. Okay. But I expect Brentford to give a fight lah against Arsenal. But in the end, I cuba nak bangun lah tengok this game sebenarnya at 3 o'clock. Okay. After 1:30 punya deadline, I plan to see this match. Tapi I doze off. Okay. But in the end, Brentford scored 2. I thought Tony will definitely get one goal or assist. But it's not meant to be. Okay, 2-0. Okay, Manchester versus Leeds menang 5-1. We will break down that match later. Burnley lawan Brighton, the best game actually. Result is near lah, I expect, tapi still concede. So, but Brighton did win the match. Okay, Mope did scored in that match. Chelsea menang 3-0. Okay, Alonso did score. Okay, and keep the clean sheet and maximum bonus point and so on. Tapi dekat sini first match you tahu Harvard start main and some of the big players also tak main. So if you put that in the first game, you mungkin suffer lah. Okay, if you play Harvard and so on. Everton, okay, walaupun concede the first game, they come back 3-1. Okay, Richarlison and DCL starts and both perform. Leicester menang 1-0. If you have Schmeichel, he got the 3 bonus point, so he dapat 9 points easily. I know some people take that. Schmeichel and Watt punya combo. Watford, okay, Watford Villa ni not sure. I ingat Aston Villa boleh belasah Watford lah, okay. Tapi it turns out it's a Watford day. Dia menang 3-2. Sa scored a goal. Sa could easily assist another goal. So 3-2 in the end, okay. Norwich, and then on Sunday ataupun malam Sabtu, okay, Norwich 3-0 lawan Liverpool, okay. So you are happy man. Salah did perform, Jota did perform, and if some players ambil budget defender like Smikis also perform, okay. The next one, Newcastle 2-4 lawan West Ham, which is semua gol ada dekat sini. Cresswell, Wilson, Antonia, Ben Rama. We can talk about him later. And Spurs against Man City. Actually, I expect Man City to win. Some people take Mahrez, Torres, okay, Gundogan like you said, but in the end, Son lah yang juga perform and get the 10 points lah. Like we mentioned, we think we should wait and see. Tapi Son dia tak tunggu. First game dia dah score. And he reminds us how important he is in this kind of game. So some key takeaways. I mean, as you know, semua fan dah kembali ke dalam stadium. Kau tengok penuh orang, macam tak ada COVID je dekat sana. Okay, tak pakai mask and so on. The key takeaways, you know, from 10 games, 7 home team wins. So basically, we know if you play home with the crowd back you up, most likely you will get the result. Only 3 away wins, only 3 clean sheets, and 34 goals scored. I think more than whatever that we're having on the first game last season. So anything to comment, I mean?
Okay, firstly, with regards to the key takeaways, because I'm looking at that now and thinking that, for those who want away, for Liverpool and West Ham, I felt it's just a case of their squad being superior over the opponents, which is Norwich and Newcastle. So with regards to Brighton and Burnley, so it does raise a red flag over Burnley, because even playing at home, they weren't able to fashion their chances. Of course, Chris Wood was playing in the Olympics and he's back.
Tapi Wood start tau. Wood start.
Yeah. But then so did Richarlison. Richarlison was in the Olympics. I don't know if the gold medal make a difference because he scored. He did very well against Southampton. But yeah, it is a question for Burnley, and let's those of you who watch the match will notice will dispute that Burnley goal. That it should never have been a penalty in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah. So
game tu?
no, I watched the highlights and I was annoyed. I was annoyed when I saw the news flash. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the news flash, and it was so frustrating because I doubled up on the Brighton defense with Sanchez and Dunk. So losing that clean sheet was so annoying. Brentford versus Arsenal, I know Tony didn't score, but I don't think we should worry too much about that, because at the end of the day, when we came into it, we thought that, I'm sure most of us thought that anything he gets against Arsenal will be a bonus, because it's the matches after that. Because
actually, we expect Arsenal to get something or even to win that game.
Yeah.
But
so
maybe,
it does mean that
maybe with Alba and Lacazette not playing, so mungkin itulah one of the reasons.
It also means we should stay away from Arsenal picks until we see what's happening.
So kepada siapa yang ada Ben White, jangan panik. I think keep him lah, right?
Well, bench him. Bench him. He's facing Romelu Lukaku next round, so I'd say I'd stick him on the bench before he gets sent off. Okay, I just want to point out a few. Okay, so Leicester versus Wolves. Now Leicester found it hard to break down Wolves. Wolves, even though the theory was Wolves were going to be more attacking. So I don't know if this could be due to the fact
they are more attacking, to be fair.
So is it a formation issue? Is it? But Barnes didn't really. To me, he didn't really play to his strengths. He didn't, and it's frustrating because you have a player like Iheanacho on the bench, but then clearly Rodgers prefers playing with the single striker, which is Vardy, and with maybe 4-3-3 or 4-5-1. But the problem is, because by wanting Vardy to be a focal point, we saw that when towards the end of last season, when both Vardy and Iheanacho played, Iheanacho was the standout player, not Vardy. So clearly Rodgers wants to take care of Vardy and make him the center. So, but it will only, as we see, only a 1-0 result against Wolves. So if this doesn't work, as more tougher matches see later on, then it becomes a problem.
I'm pretty sure Iheanacho will play some bigger role, because Leicester playing Europe, right? So along the way, they need bigger squad. I suppose Vardy cannot play every single minute, every single game. Iheanacho will get his chance, and maybe when the time comes, we know when the right time to hop on Iheanacho punya bandwagon. Okay.
And I just want to touch a bit on Aston Villa. So I actually I think the score is flattering them, because I was pretty uncertain about how the attack would gel, and we saw that there's a lot of people, they don't know what their roles are, like when there was a lack of connection.
Yeah, Grealish not there anymore. Watkins not even on the bench, so maybe those are the factors. And I suppose Aston Villa needs time to gel again.
But credit to Watford, it was great. Yeah, and we've covered the other match.
You keep Sa, don't drop him, okay? Don't ever think.
I'll keep Sa. He has a great run of fixtures coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
So at 6.0 is.
Okay, good. Just move on. Kita ada nak break up lagi 2 match, okay?
Yep.
So just a glance okay? Definitely Manchester lawan Leeds 5-1 thrashing to be fair. And whoever doesn't own Bruno I think dia suffer lah, okay? Yeah, I can feel your pain, okay? 20 points in the bag. And then the other talking point is Pogba out of nowhere assisting 4 goals. 4 goals. Berapa point yang dia dapat? Aku boleh tak ingat dah. Okay, so easily 15, 14 points. Okay, so maybe that is the most surprising thing because Pogba last year memang tak perform. I think the whole year mungkin dia assist 3 kali je kot. Ini satu match pun dah assist lebih daripada last year. So the other thing, Mason Greenwood tak disappoint people. Whoever picked him at 7.5, he looks very good value, and thinking he will definitely start next game also. In terms of Leeds United, okay, I can say a bit disappointing. Maybe Kevin Phillips tak start, maybe a factor to Leeds. Dia punya defending apa ni, take a toll from their point. So I think my takeaway from this 5-1 is to monitor Pogba, especially at 7.5 million. So we'll see if, let's say, he perform again lawan Southampton after this. I think people will start picking him up. Okay, so that's the match that I saw. Maybe you boleh break up sikit pasal Liverpool Norwich. Aku tertidur ni.
Okay. Okay. So the Liverpool Norwich game, at first it looked like Norwich was going to put up a fight, but then in the end, Diogo Jota managed to perform a breakthrough, and then we started to see the issues that Norwich has in defense. So it's a big problem, especially I felt on the left hand side of Norwich, where a lot of Salah was coming through and doing well. In fact, the first goal was because of an assist by Salah. Yeah, so the problem is, okay, so now we know that Jota, Firmino and Salah have scored. So the problem is now with Jota and Firmino both scoring, so it raises a question of whether or not, both will be able, who will start the next match. Now Mane didn't score, but if you watch the match, you will have noticed that when it comes to the attack, it was always the three of them. They were interchanging, crossing pass, and it was even more so when Firmino came in. It was so obvious that how much synergy the Firmino, Mane and Salah had going together. And it was quite unlucky that Salah ended up not being getting any goals, but it could easily have been him. Yeah. So it's a tough one, but of course and Liverpool kept a clean sheet, and I think Norwich City is going to have a whole challenge for this season.
Norwich
again.
A bit tough for the next 4 matches. Memang dia lawan semua top 6 lah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I can say, if you have Jota, congrats. First week he performed 8 points, same like Mason Greenwood. Tapi moving forward, game week 2, I'm not sure he starts or not. If you ask me, if I have Jota, I'll keep him. You try your luck.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out from the Manchester United Leeds thing with regarding Paul Pogba. So there's a lot of debate because for that match, Pogba was actually positioned in a 4-3-3 where he was on the left up front. So that was that. So he had that freedom to attack, and he didn't have to worry about playing in the pivot at the back with McTominay or Fred. So McTominay and Fred were at the back, and so because Martial was benched, Sancho was benched, there's no Rashford, so Paul Pogba appeared in the front with Mason Greenwood, whereas Dan James was on the right with Mason Greenwood in the middle. So the question is Pogba going to continue in that role? Okay. Because that's where he'll get the most points, and I don't see why not. It's people keep saying he's going to be pushed back, but not so soon, especially not against Southampton. So if so I don't see any harm bringing him in for those who want to bring him in. Yeah, because I can see another attack.
As we speak, I tengok dekat Fantasy Premier League ni, sorry, he scored 16 points, okay. He's now costing us 7.6. Harga dah start naik, okay. And he already owned by 12.3% lah. So just to highlight lah, bukan nak provoke you all untuk beli Pogba, but something to be monitored lah. Okay.
I think if you have space, you should.
Okay, we move on.
Okay.
Alright, just a quick bonus point table lah I share, because at least everyone knows that kadang-kadang orang terlepas tengok benda-benda macam ni kan. So I just compile this for everyone punya knowledge lah. We see here matches siapa yang dapat 3 points. Kita tengok Brentford lawan Arsenal, Canos 3 bonus point, okay. Then Fernandes, Pogba, Greenwood all in bonus point punya scoring, okay. Burnley lawan Brighton ni, McAllister, I'm not sure mana role dia. Dia coming in for sub. Alonso got 3 bonus point also, but as you know lah, dia punya place tu is a risk lah, okay? Chilwell could come in at any time. He might play the next game, but we will never sure of it lah. Whoever pick Alonso first game, salute to you, 5.5, and he scored you 15-16 points easily, right? Okay, another one is Richarlison. He got 3 bonus point. DCL dapat 1 point lah, so 7 points. So Richarlison dapat 11 points on Gameweek 1. I think someone to monitor, and I tengok macam harga dia pun dah naik a bit. Okay, and to be fair, Richarlison is 0.5 lower than DCL. DCL at 8, Richarlison at 7.5, maybe 7.6. So mungkin that a bit different tu mungkin boleh save you some money to invest somewhere. If Richarlison taking penalty lah, if we can show off that, I think he's a viable option lah. I'm will monitor him for the next few weeks, because Richarlison everything himself have a good run lah for the next 6-7 matches. So if he's clearly the focal point, he keep performing after this next week lawan Leeds. Okay, so that's my thinking lah. Leicester lawan Wolves, despite Vardy's scored goal, he doesn't get any bonus point. Sebab Leicester clean sheet, Pereira assist, he got the maximum points. Schmeichel hanya dapat 2 bonus point. I thought 3. Okay, sorry. I think dia dapat 9 points because ada 1 save point lah. Right? Watford 3-2. Dennis is someone to monitor. Later we talk about him. Norwich 0-3. Salah dapat full bonus point. Firmino masuk sub pun dapat 2 bonus point.
Firmino getting 2 bonus. Yeah.
Beli mahal-mahal trend, dia tak dapat bonus point. Van Dijk dapat. Baik, beli 6.5 je lah. And then like we mentioned, Antonio did gather 3 bonus point. Okay, despite missing penalty. Benrahma dapat 2 bonus point. Tottenham lawan Man City, Loris dapat full bonus point. Hassan only dapat 2 bonus point lah. So there's just a recap lah. So anything you want to highlight here?
Well, coming back to what you mentioned just now about Leicester Wolves. So the fact that Vardy didn't get any bonus points at all tells you a lot. And it is a bit of a worry there in terms of Leicester's attack. So we'll see how the next match comes up.
Next match, tahu lawan siapa? Away to West Ham. Lagilah.
So we need to see, because West Ham defense pun is at full strength. I don't think they have any missing. But of course they still conceded 2 against Newcastle.
Yalah, tapi dia concede lawan Newcastle still ada chance lah.
But West Ham will be at home though. So
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we move on. Next one is just talking about new players emerging lah. Sekejap. Okay. So dekat sini I took these players yang scored double digit from Gameweek 1. Okay, yang single digit bawah daripada 10 points, 9 points, macam Salah score 9 points, he's not in this list lah. So just to put into context lah. Okay, Bruno and Salah is the top 2 lah. Scored 20 points and 70 points. Okay, Pogba 16. To monitor, okay, Chalobah on Chelsea player at 5. If he continues to play lah, which I doubt lah. As a Chelsea fan pun, I rasa tempat dia ni anytime boleh replace by Azpilicueta with Reece James playing on the right wing back. Okay, but something just to highlight here, if he continue to play, 5 million in Chelsea backline is good. The next one, like we mentioned, Dennis lah. I pun tak tahu Dennis ni siapa. Tengok Dennis ni, Watford player forward starting at 5.0 price tag. This is very, very tempting lah if you want to free up fund to buy, say, KDB, Salah, Bruno, katakanlah, and just put cheap player. And if Dennis continue to play, I think he's a good option lah. And now still at 2.8% selected by managers lah. Benrahma, okay, 6 million, okay. He already start picking up bandwagon, okay, and he quite cheap to be fair. Dia boleh 6 million price tag ni samalah dengan Sa, dengan Willock, dengan Adama Traore. So these are the kind of player who could give good points to you at a lower price. The other one, okay, I put here Canos midfield at 5.5. Tapi kalau I dah tengok highlight Brentford lawan Arsenal, okay,
Yeah.
Mbomo at 5.5
Yeah.
million. I thought, dia ni very attacking, assisting, shooting out of
Everywhere.
nowhere. So I think that one nasib baik dia tak dia tak score goal lah. Kalau dia start score goal, people will start picking him up. Since dia tak ada score any point, I think he got only 3 points because of the clean sheet lah. So I think still under radar, but if let's say he start performing at 5.5 million, same price as like Smith Rowe, and Brentford is attacking, so I think he's also can be a good pick. Anything you want to comment here?
Yeah, I guess firstly, Ben Rama was talked about a lot at the start of the season about how he's gonna take over Lingard's place and
Betul.
be the attacking midfielder that everyone is looking for. So at the moment, he has definitely justified it based on just purely on the basis of the first match. It'll be interesting to see though, because they will play Leicester next match. So Leicester's defense is typically one of the better ones against the lower sides. So I don't know whether we want to whether those who don't have him want to pick up Ben Rama immediately or just wait and see first whether that form continues.
Okay, if you ask me, wait and see. Tapi kalau dia scoring lawan Leicester at home next game, confirm lah. Semua orang akan ambil dia.
So at the moment, based on currently from yours, it's at 8.4%. So it's still not as high as.
Tapi itu aku ambil pagi tadi. Sekarang sudah 9.4%.
So it should go past 10% soon. Everyone else is fine. Dennis, something to look at. Only 5.0 it's amazing value for a striker who's starting. But of course, we're not sure about Watford's credentials yet.
Watford banyak striker. Dini
no, but Dennis should continue to start. But but I wasn't. I to be honest, I looked at the Watford strikers and I wasn't confident because Dini is getting old, so definitely he wasn't going to be a.
Tapi I think ada yellow flag situ. He pick up a knock and he actually sub out in the 65th minute. So something to monitor lah.
So for me, Watford Sarr is still the one to go for. But I would also like to mention Pereira. Everyone remembers Ricardo Pereira.
Pereira ni dia disappoint me last year lah, to be fair. Aku last time masa buat wildcard aku masuk Pereira because Leicester ada good fixture at 6 million some more. Dia 5.5 lah, still okay lah. 3 million he disappoint me, so aku reserve my comment.
Yeah, well, I don't know because Leicester still have a couple of players who are returning, so how it affects Pereira's position, I don't know. So I'm not confident.
I think kalau Castagna dah boleh main, I think he's a better pick at the same price. I think.
Okay. Yeah, the rest are.
We can move on. Okay.
Yeah.
Next ni just nak introduce to people. Okay, Lukaku dah join Chelsea. Now his price tag is 11.5 million. People teka dia guessing what kind of price they will get at FPL. I ingat dalam 10.5, 11, tapi terus dapat 11.5. So he can be considered as premium asset lah. So I think kalau katakanlah, okay, like you mention Lukaku untuk masuk kan. So kita kena reconstruct our team lah to get some cheap player to be in. Kalau you nak Bruno, you nak Salah, you nak Lukaku, I think you have to sacrifice somewhere. Betul tak?
Yeah. And for me personally, I can see myself getting Lukaku in and taking one hit because the way to do that is of course to get rid of Mane. Okay. Yeah, so that will definitely give me the funds I need. But we don't know what we want to do. Maybe we can talk about it later. Varane is
another player assigned by Manchester, and he's valued at 5.5 million. I thought the price mungkin kalau sama, so Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Shaw and Varane at same price. So definitely Shaw is higher than them, the rest lah to me lah. But mana tahu Varane kalau dia banyak shooting in the box, mungkin dia punya value lebih better.
All I can say, if you have Shaw already, you probably won't be considering him at all, because Shaw is currently owned at 54.4% ownership.
He's the
So it's
he's the most owned player by managers. Could be.
Yeah. And we saw his exploits during the Euro. So I can see where all the hype is coming from. So I don't see, unless Shaw really doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Bruno dah potong Shaw. Bruno is the most owned player at 56.7. Shaw slightly lower, 54.
I still don't have him.
It's okay. It's okay. Kau tak ada macam sentiment ni kan. Kalau kata is a good asset, you definitely pick, right? But it's okay. It's your choice. Mane still good. I think you should maintain Mane lah to give him another go. Lawan Burnley at home, you never know.
We'll take a look at that.
Okay, next. Gameweek 2 fixture. Kita banyak cerita tadi. Mungkin kita sendiri dah hafal fixture, orang lain tak hafal. Okay, so kita go through lah apa fixture yang bagus this week. Okay, first game on Saturday, early kick-off at 7:30 PM, Liverpool lawan Burnley. Okay, the green tick sana sebab aku expect it could be a high scoring game for Liverpool lah, not for Burnley lah. Alright.
Okay.
Aston Villa lawan Newcastle. Also intriguing pada aku lah. Both capable of scoring, both capable of conceding. Crystal Palace lawan Brentford. Okay, Crystal Palace kena belasah ke 3-0 by Chelsea last week, and Brentford scoring, so they are on high. Maybe this match Brentford could win and Tony could score, so I'm keeping him lah, thinking of that. Leeds lawan Everton. Leeds luka parah, kena 5-1. So maybe Bielsa wants to prove that Leeds can bounce back at in front of their own crowd. So mungkin ada ni lah, boleh fight. A green tick for Man City lawan Norwich lah. It could be easily 5-0, 6-0 kalau Norwich tak betul lah. So whoever having Man City asset last week tak perform, I think they should keep, could easily score in this game lah. The next on Sunday atau late game, Brighton lawan Watford. Okay, like everyone has Sanchez, kita nak clean sheet lah, tapi kau ada Sa, so kau nak lah score kan. And then Southampton lawan Manchester United. Okay, you know this could easily high scoring game, and Bruno scored again. So it's in the mix lah. Nanti later we run through the captain picks between Salah and Bruno. Then Wolves lawan Spurs. I think this could be a tight match juga. And kalau Wolves still playing high line, Son could easily on the scoring sheet again. Then match of the week lah kot, Arsenal lawan Chelsea. Betul tak? I think that is the toughest match lah, or match to avoid lah.
What do you mean? It's Arsenal. I'm sorry.
So aku tak nak jinx my team. So Arsenal, Chelsea kalah dua game away than home last season. So anything can happen. Mungkin last week dia kalah Brentford. Kalau dia menang 1-0 Chelsea, everything dah turn back into good things. And then on Monday morning kot, West Ham lawan Leicester. So siapa ada asset West Ham and Leicester have to wait lah. Let's game. So anything you want to say here?
Okay, firstly, that Leeds Everton match, because Kevin Phillips, we expect Calvin Phillips to be back, so we may not get, obviously Everton are nowhere close to Manchester United in terms of attacking assets, but it will strengthen Leeds' defense with the return of Calvin Phillips. So and as a result, their attack with the strengthening of the defense, then those who had held on to Rafinha, like you may actually be able to reap dividends there, because Everton's defense is not great. Yeah, unfortunately, but I think you have Rafinha versus Digne at some point, so but that's just gonna have to happen. Then the Brighton Watford is an intriguing match actually, because we're not sure. We're still not sure about Watford's capabilities, and right now, we were hoping Brighton would keep a clean sheet because so many had so many had Sanchez last week, but they didn't. So again, a lot. These matches are tough to call. But Manchester City versus Norwich, that looks like Norwich is going to be roadkill. So it really is a question of which players that you want. And there are some who had Gundogan start, but he may be injured. We're not sure. And even if he covers, I don't know if he's good enough to be played.
Lupa I nak komen tadi. Actually, I'm surprised juga. Grealish starts game lawan Spurs and he played.
Who? Sorry?
Grealish
Grealish.
Ingat Grealish dia mungkin tak start, dia bench and coming.
I don't know. It was. I don't know if it was because Foden's out, De Bruyne's out. Then you have Jesus who's out of favor, Bernardo Silva out of favor.
So looks like Grealish kalau dia dah memang confirm main, and if he looks threatening, I think at 8 million could offer some value lah. But still wait and see.
No, the problem with Grealish is that right now I don't know if he's going to be a goal scoring threat. I mean, let's face it, even when he was with Villa, he wasn't the main goal scoring threat. The main goal scoring threat was Watkins. And we saw that he has this, given the chart, he lets other people take the penalties,
Okay, so I just nak tanya you, kalau Man City assets kalau you want to pick one of their assets, siapa on top of the list kau akan beli dulu? Okay lah, besides KDB lah. KDB macam premium lah. So you tahu macam dia perform, dia boleh produce goals and
it's got to be Mahrez because to exploit that left side of Norwich, which I mentioned earlier, that left side which Salah exploited to great effect last week, Mahrez should be able to do the same. So it's really a question of
he's still a rotation risk, right? Itu je lah.
Yes, that's the Pep Roulette problem.
So if you investing 9 million, lepas tu main 2 game bench, main 1 game bench, sakit. That's, I don't want to go to that motion again. That is the only thing that worries me.
You have a strong bench that you can risk it.
The bench nanti masuk Brownhill, Gilmore.
The Wolves Spurs match is a case of, is Kane gonna play or not? So it seems like if you saw the recent news, there's a standoff now between Kane, and so it's clear he wants. It's becoming obvious that he wants to force the move, and there's
so kalau Kane really move to Man City, so everyone akan rushing to get him ke?
Well, he's not gonna appear before the Norwich game lah. It's too.
Yalah, tapi say after international break. After bila market close by at the end of the month, right? So then kalau Kane pindah ke Man City, then is that the road to Man City punya asset, or KDB still the main man?
I would argue KDB is still the main man. But again, that's the problem with Kane, because at the moment most of our teams are not structured to fit in an expensive striker, so definitely, but that's why a lot of people
tapi Kane dengan Lukaku
activate their wild cards.
Yelah, Kane dengan Lukaku lebih kurang sama lah, beza 1 juta je.
But you can't have Kane. But you want Kane, Lukaku, Salah and Fernandes.
Tak boleh lah. Then macam tu kau kena main game lain lah.
So that will be interesting once past the international break, because all these players are capable of scoring great fantasy points. So how are you going to balance that?
Understand. Okay, understand. So it's our own judgment how to make our team work.
I mean, we'll see how the games go.
Alright, let's apa next? Lupa dah. Captain pick. Okay. So just nak share lah ni info we gather from Fantasy Football Scout, di mana managers boleh vote dekat sini lah who's your captain choice of the week. So like Gameweek 2, macam kita tahu, Liverpool will play Burnley at home, okay, and potentially Salah is a good asset to score goals at any time. And then Manchester United play away at Southampton lah. So we see here from total 8,753 people who cast votes, Salah is on top, with 63% managers are voting or picking him as the top scorer for Gameweek 2. And then comes Bruno at 19.7%. And the rest very differential lah. Yeah, I can say if you think Man City boleh belasah Norwich, Mahrez De Bruyne lah. And ada your player mana kalau nak give a try at 1.53%. It's not the most popular pick, tapi kalau he perform, Salah keeping quiet, and then you memang shoot up in ranking lah, that I can say lah. So what's your first comment? Salah versus Bruno. Who the obvious choice?
It's still got to be Salah. He'll be playing at home in Anfield. Yeah. So it's just too much of a too much of an advantage. Fernandes will be playing away to Southampton. Now, obviously, Southampton defense currently looks terrible. But they
siapa defense Southampton pun aku dah tak kenal. Tak ada Benarik kat situ. Kyle Walker ada ke? Left defense Bertrand dah tak ada. I don't know. It's all bunch of
But to be fair, Ralph Hasenhuttl is a good manager, so he'll have a bit more time, and maybe at home they'll be playing a bit better. But I still expect Fernandes to score. Okay. So, but in terms of the captaincy, I can't see past Salah.
Okay, fair. We break down on these captain picks. We do some research. So ini last season punya scoring lah. I just take for example, Liverpool actually lost at home against Burnley last year at home. Ashley Barnes score penalty kot. Nearly on the 83rd minutes lah. But you see here, Southampton lawan Manchester. Southampton lead 2-0 at halftime. Then Manchester scored 3 goals and made a comeback. And you see here who scored? Bruno again. So Bruno loves to score against Southampton, I suppose. And that could be a reminder for you all lah, that maybe Bruno is the better pick. But anyway, there's some stats I compiled from Football Scout. If you want to join Football Scout premium members, you can see this kind of info, and then you boleh influence your how you make a judgment lah, who's the better captain pick. Okay, so just quickly run here. In terms of penalty touch on Gameweek 1, Salah has a better touches inside the penalty box. In terms of goals, like we mentioned, we know Bruno scored hat-trick. Okay, but in terms of attempts, okay, inside the box, Salah is better than Bruno just by 1. Okay, 4-3. Big chances, Bruno ada 2 against Salah. So I can say it's actually 50-50. I must agree with you, Min. Playing home could be a very, very advantage that you should look at lah. And could easily hat-trick by Salah. Could also double goals by Bruno. I think could be a toss of coin. What do you think?
Yeah, it could go anyway, either way. I'm still looking at the Anfield thing though, but yeah. I just want to point out that you got Burnley there. I guess because Norwich were not in the Premier League last season. Yeah, so they were only like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, fair. So I think like we mentioned lah, both are very good pick, and I don't think you can go wrong between these two lah. All right?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be much difference. Yeah.
Okay. Next. Okay, let's go through our game week 2 transfer plan. I think we go with you dulu, Min. What is in your thoughts right now?
So obviously it's Mane, isn't it? And I guess when I look back on hindsight, it might be a fundamental error in the sense that because I have placed so many units on Liverpool players. So you got like 31 or 32 points of my budget there. So with everyone else, you know, I got in terms of the attack, I got Sarr, Greenwood, Antonio, Tony, and Calvert-Lewin, who I generally feel will have a chance to return this week as well. And even though Mane may also have his chance, he is the one player I'm looking at. If I wanted to make any changes, it would be Mane. And the main match that I am looking at is the Manchester City versus Norwich. Okay. Because looking at the Liverpool-Norwich match, I feel that Norwich are just going to be... So it's a question of who to pick. And we discussed just now about how Mahrez is there, but he might be susceptible to rotation. And the thing is, I have exactly enough units to go KDB.
I
So
understand.
this will, so I do have the advantage because in the sense that very few will have KDB because they have
betul. Let me see
Fernandes
KDB.
there instead.
KDB.
Yeah.
Would you be surprised if I say he's only owned by 2% of managers?
No, not at all, because he wasn't fit and we're not sure. And yeah, so it all depends. And one thing I want to point out, because I have 0 units in my bank, so I can't actually afford to do Mane to
Bruno
Fernandes without a hit anymore. They moved up. So
can
I
I
mean,
suggest,
I may be,
can I just suggest something? Go for it.
yes. Meaning
Change
to
to KDB.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm really slanting towards KDB, but I'll wait and see the team news to confirm that he will start.
Jangan
Because
sampai
12
Mane,
units and he doesn't start.
jangan sampai Mane turun harga dah lah. Kalau turun harga tak cukup duit lah beli.
Yeah, but again, Salah is already there, so he'll just have to deal with it. So yeah, so that's it. I briefly thought about having Lukaku, so I would take a hit, being Tony for Lukaku and downgrading to Mane to someone like Ben Rama. That's actually possible.
Okay.
But because I felt that Lukaku is going to score against Arsenal. That's a given.
Shit.
But
kalau
it's just the
kau jinx dia
Arsenal.
siap lah kau. Okay.
Yeah. So but it's the because if I'm buying it, it's for a few matches, and he does play Liverpool the next match, so I don't know if I want to risk it because Chelsea do not have an easy fixture. I mean,
betul.
on paper, and at the same time, by removing one Liverpool player for this week, then because next week they do play Chelsea. So
itulah kalau aku tengok fixture Chelsea ni, like we mentioned lah, Chelsea has a tough match early of the season. Okay, fair, dia lawan Crystal Palace at home, then away to Arsenal, then away to Liverpool, it's tough, then home to Villa, okay, away to Spurs, and home to Man City. Wow.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bad run of fixture, first 6 fixture. Tapi kalau you nak think of after that, I think should be okay. Game week 7 onwards, he has a lot of green ratings of fixtures, so you can thinking of Chelsea asset after that lah.
But we can wait because I mean, you being a Chelsea fan, I read a lot in terms of because previously Havertz was almost like questioning why you want to bring in Lukaku when the attack is already starting to gel, how he and Werner works very well together. So I don't know how that will happen now because Lukaku isn't coming in to replace a departing striker. He's coming in, and then the way the setup may also have to change.
Betul. So maybe they need time to gel between each other to know how to suit every single one.
I expect them to win against Arsenal, but it might not be smooth. They might rely on Lukaku's physicalness to power past Arsenal's.
So to me, me personally, although I'm a Chelsea fan, I think it's a wait and see lah for this Lukaku and Chelsea asset. We got plenty of time to hop to them. Okay.
True. Okay.
So quickly run through my game week.
Look at yours.
Game week 2 plan. Okay, normally, like myself lah. I always plan my team, my first team pun for a long run lah. So bukannya this week ni and game week 2 then fikir start to change player lah. So sometimes assets don't perform as what you may think, like Rafinha, Barnes, Digny, Tony, didn't score any more points, but game week 2 could be different. Maybe I need to be more patient, and I feel this still a strong team that I can go. Although some good picks like Ben Rama, Greenwood to consider, but I think let me evaluate game week 2. Maybe there is a different potential players coming up, or maybe Son scored again, and then people need to pick him. So then with the 2 transfer that I have, I can make flexible move or take a hit to change 3 players and change the whole dimension of my team. So I think that's my thinking. Hopefully, bearing any injuries hopefully tak ada tiba-tiba like Bruno or Salah injured or Barnes injured or Rafinha injured, then I have to make changes
Okay, so no transfers for you for now. Okay, all right, cool.
Yep.
I think it's cute that we both still have still left Ailing on the bench. So even though he
So
scored,
macam
so
tak
against
kena
Man
lah
U,
kalau
nice.
aku put macam tak kena kalau aku put Ailing before Dickney. Play over Dickney lah. Play Ailing over Dickney. Nanti although Ailing play home, tapi Dickney ada potential taking set pieces. So I think he should
Needs
be
to
playing.
assist DCL. So yeah.
Okay. Tony, I will give him another game. He could easily score against Crystal Palace. And the rest, I think this could be my...
I think for, can I just give my opinion? I do feel that you need to put your Barnes on your watch list in terms of if you were going to transfer a player, because I'm not sure. I'm not confident right now in terms of how Leicester is attacking and his ability to get.
Fair. Kalau tengok fixture, just run through a bit Leicester punya fixture.
Keep him for now, but yeah.
Keep him for now. Tapi game week 3 mungkin boleh buang. Tapi game week 3 takkan nak buang lawan Norwich, so maybe I keep him.
Yeah, I mean it's a case of his potential. Yeah, he does play Norwich after. But
then game week 4 lawan Manchester City, maybe you boleh drop kalau kata he's still not performing after Norwich lah. But see how it goes. We can plan now, but lagi 2-3 hari kita mungkin different thinking lah.
No worries, yeah. The team news will always affect us as well. Okay.
All right, good. I think we already run through everything. Just a quick reminder to everyone. Our game week 2 deadlines will be at 6 p.m. this Saturday, because Friday tak ada matches. So it will be 6 p.m. It's still early because early kickoff Liverpool lawan Burnley at 7:30 p.m. So normally dulu bukan tahun lepas. Before that, 1 hour before is the deadline. Tapi because there are some advantages like mungkin ada early
getting the lineup early.
So that's why FPL thinking need to avoid this kind of thing. Dia extend another half an hour. So definitely you won't get early team news, and that's why the deadline will be at 6 p.m. And don't forget that time lah. Okay, kalau rasa nak pergi jogging ke apa, set your team early on Saturday.
I definitely see myself cycling at that time, so I have to stop nearby and make sure everything's done and update my team. I mean, okay, again, the main thing, I don't want to do any last minute unless it's really for injuries or injury purposes. So I will be holding off. I'm not in a rush to transfer anyone. So and because team news can happen, anything can happen. So yeah.
Okay. Any last word? If not, I'll wrap up.
Okay, so just one last word is that I'm sure for those of you whose team didn't perform, you really need who did poorly. You just really need to take a look back and see why you picked those players. Was it for short term or was it long term? Are they fulfilling the role that you expected them to, and maybe they just haven't got lucky because it can be very tempting to just hit the wild card, but I strongly suggest you don't yet. Wait. Maybe just do your normal
I don't think you should
transfers.
press the panic button now lah.
Unless half your team is devastated by injury, which I don't think happened, or you just screwed up in the sense that you thought all these people would make the starting lineup and only 5 players turned up in the starting lineup. Then you are cut. Otherwise, don't. Hold off. Patience.
Okay, I agree with your advice. Try to be as much patient as you can. Okay, sometimes you don't do any early knee jerk.
It's very tempting, especially after the explosive first week that we had. It's very tempting. But no.
if your team doesn't have Bruno or Son or who else scoring high point like Antonio and so on, don't panic. I think still early games. Second week it could be a different perspective. Mungkin ada different player imaging and starting
the player scores.
Mana tahu Lukaku scored game week 2, it will be a different dimension after that. Okay, so just last word, if you want to engage with us dengan Azmin, you can tweet us at FPL_Sleepy Jedi or myself at Muhammad Hafiz Mo. Okay, so I think that's a wrap. But before we go, just I want to give a shout out to Johan Jamal sebab pinjamkan aku mic ni. Dia complain kata suara aku tak dengar episode 1, sangat tak clear. I think Azmi agree with me on that. So thanks to Joe.
Yeah, I think your audio is definitely better. Thanks, Johan.
Okay, so that's it for this week. So we hope that you don't press the panic button. I think this still early days, and wish you all the best this week. And last word, may the force be with you.
All right, yeah, and keep reading, and yeah, we hope that this is useful for you, and we'll continue to make these videos, and all the best for Game Week 2.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.